Let's tackle a huge question, one that's on every programmer's mind. Is AI coming for our jobs? And, maybe more importantly, what should you be learning right now to make sure that by 2026, you're not just surviving, but actually thriving? We're going to cut through all the noise and give you a real, concrete plan.
This is the big fear, isn't it? I mean, you see it everywhere. These headlines are just buzzing with this idea that AI is going to be writing all the code, and that human developers are, well, on their way out. But is that really the full picture?
And look, this anxiety isn't just coming out of thin air. When the CEO of a huge coding platform like Replit comes out and says something like this, you bet people are going to listen. His argument is that these new AI coding agents are completely changing the game.
And it's not like he's the only one saying it. You've got industry titans like Mark Zuckerberg basically echoing the exact same thing. The story they're telling is powerful. If you're a mid-level engineer, your job could seriously be on the line. So the panic feels kind of justified, right?
But hold on. For every single one of those scary predictions, there's a piece of data that tells a completely different story. We're talking about analytics firms projecting a massive increase in coding jobs, like 10 million new roles in just the next 5 years. So which one is it? Are jobs disappearing? Or are they booming?
So here's what we're going to do. First, we'll tackle that big question. Is coding really dead? Then we'll get into the new reality for developers, this idea that the bar has been raised. After that, we'll walk through the top languages you absolutely need to know, Python, JavaScript, and a few others. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a clear action plan for your career.
So you've got these two totally different futures being painted for us. One where coders are basically obsolete, and another with millions of new jobs just waiting to be filled. The thing is, the reality isn't one or the other. It's kind of both. Coding isn't dying, it's just evolving into something totally new.
And that brings us to the single most important idea in this entire explainer. So if you remember one thing, make it this. The bar has been raised. The job of a coder isn't going away, but the minimum skill level you need to get and keep that job, it has changed forever. Low effort, copy and paste coding is officially.
Now, to understand this, there's a fantastic analogy. I want you to think back about 50 years to the world of banking. A banker's job was literally to count cash by hand and write everything down in a paper ledger. Then, computers showed up. So did all the bankers get fired? Of course not. Their jobs were transformed. They had to learn how to use the new tool, the computer. And that's exactly what AI is for coders today. It's the new tool.
So what does this raised bar actually mean for you day to day? Well, it means knowing basic syntax just isn't going to cut it anymore, because an AI can do that in a split second. What you need are the skills an AI doesn't have: a really deep understanding of logic, the skill to debug really complex problems in big systems, and, the actual creativity to solve brand new challenges. You have to become the person who uses the AI, not the person who gets replaced by it.
Okay, so if the bar is higher, how do you get over it? Simple. By mastering the right languages. So let's jump into our first and, honestly, most important recommendation, the versatile do-it-all language, Python.
The magic of Python is really its simplicity. If you compare it to older languages like C, its syntax is way closer to just plain English, which makes it so much easier for beginners to pick up. But don't let that fool you. It's incredibly powerful. It's the backbone of so many of the AI tools, websites, and apps that we use every day.
And this table here illustrates perfectly why Python is so valuable. Just look at its use cases. They're in the absolute hottest fields right now: AI and data analysis. It's fantastic for beginners, sure, but it's also the go-to language for serious data scientists and automation engineers. This huge demand in these high-growth areas just makes it an absolutely essential skill to have.
All right, next up. If Python is the brains building all the powerful logic behind the scenes, then our next language is what actually brings the web to life. Let's talk about the undisputed engine of the modern internet, JavaScript. Think about it this way. Python can build the website, but JavaScript is what makes it do things. When you click a button on a page, or you fill out a form, or you see a cool animation pop up, that is JavaScript at work. It's the language of user interaction on the web, and that means pretty much every single company needs it.
And hey, the data does not lie. Even with all these new languages popping up, if you look at the projections for 2025, JavaScript is still the most commonly used programming language among developers all over the world. Its dominance is just undeniable. If you want a job in web development, you simply have to know JavaScript. End of story.
Okay, so beyond Python and JavaScript, there are a few other critical languages out there. These are more for specialized, high-stakes roles.
Let's take a quick look at a couple of these specialists.
So here we have two absolute heavyweights, Java and C. Think of Java as a fortress. It's built for these huge, super secure enterprise systems, which is exactly why pretty much every major bank in the world relies on it. C, on the other hand, goes even deeper. It's the language that teaches you how computers really work on a low level, managing memory directly. It's what's used to build the core of operating systems. So, what's the trade-off? Well, jobs for both of these tend to be at massive, established companies, which makes the market a bit smaller and more competitive.
Now for a language that's a bit different, but is, and I mean this, absolutely essential. SQL, or sometimes people just say SQL, is the universal language for talking to databases. Nearly every app you use, from social media to your banking app, stores your data somewhere. SQL is how developers get that information back out and manage it.
And this process is happening all around you, every single day. Just imagine you're making a payment with an app. You scan a QR code. In that single instant, a request, called a query, is sent to a server that holds millions of accounts. And then, in just a couple of seconds, SQL finds the exact right account, verifies all the details, and processes the payment. That incredible speed and accuracy across these massive data sets, it's all powered by SQL. It's truly the unsung hero of our digital world.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've gone from the fear of being replaced all the way to understanding this new landscape. So now, let's put it all together into a clear, actionable plan to really future-proof your career.
This all boils down to 3 simple rules. First, don't just dabble. Pick one language and go deep. Become a real expert in it. Second, focus your energy on the things AI can't do. Complex logic, creative debugging, and building entire projects from scratch. And third, you have to embrace AI as your co-pilot, but never, ever forget that you were the one flying the plane. You must always understand the underlying code.
And if you're just starting out, here is a super simple roadmap. Begin with Python. It will build your fundamental logic, and it'll open up doors in the world of AI. Then add JavaScript so you can become proficient in web development. And finally, master SQL, because pretty much every developer in almost every field needs to work with data. This combination makes you incredibly versatile and super valuable. And this quote right here, it just sums the whole thing up perfectly. Think about it. You don't multiply 93 by 54 by hand anymore, right? You use a calculator because it's way faster and more efficient, but you still understand the concept of multiplication. And that is precisely how you need to think about AI. It's your new, incredibly powerful calculator.
So the question isn't, will AI replace you? That's the wrong question. It's just a tool, like the calculator was a century ago. The real question is, with this powerful new tool in your hands, what are you going to build? What problems are you going to solve? And how are you going to use it to push the boundaries of what's even possible? That's the real challenge and the real opportunity that's ahead of you.